We've all been there. You're sitting at your desk, you're on a video call, and it should have been an email. You have the experience, you have expertise, you've been successful. Someone else is in control. You find yourself daydreaming about a life where you set the rules, where your results are a direct reflection of your efforts and skills. Where's the freedom? Where's the control? Why does it always feel like there's an invisible force trying to hold you down? You ever noticed every time you start to look at something new, there's like this nagging pressure pushing the other way, pushing you back to your desk? And today we're going to talk about the lies that keep us stuck to our seats. 3 lies that hold us back, destroy our ambitions, put out the fire of our dreams. I've felt it. We've all felt it. Doing new things is scary and hard. It's easier to stay with the devil you know. So lie number 1, you've got to reinvent the wheel to be a real entrepreneur. Now, this lie sells the idea that real freedom only comes if you start from scratch. The world tells you that if you don't spend 5 years in a garage surviving on instant noodles, you haven't earned it. And the result of lie 1 is paralysis. What's the need? Will they buy it? How do I get customers? You look at the blank page of tomorrow. You see a million tiny decisions. No clear path on where to start. How much is it going to cost? And where do I get the money? The list goes on and on. The corporate mind is trained to mitigate risk. Your experience tells you to pause. It tells you to stay put because the risk is too high and the path ahead is unknown. From my experience, reinventing the wheel is not a sign of genius. It's a path for the few. It's far more work than what's typically necessary. The smarter move, the safer play, is to leverage something that's already proven to work using proven systems, leveraging established business models. You want to partner with experienced professionals. It frees you up to focus on your strengths, your work ethic, creativity, leadership, operations, whatever those strengths may be. Using proven models or products, doing it better, and creating happy customers. That's the core of business, and that's all it takes. Now, lie number 2. Stability is found in a paycheck. The golden handcuffs. This lie is the most cruel of them all. It's a lie that tells you that your salary, your paycheck every 15 days is the definition of stability. It keeps you quiet in meetings, stifles your creativity, disconnects you from your efforts and your hours, and worst of all, it suggests that you have a finite value and potential in this world. It's not the only way to view stability. I can tell you, it's not the way I define it. Paychecks are the definition used by lions in the zoo. The lions out in the wild, we define stability and control and impact to our future. It's no secret, in the corporate world, you have very little control. Your stability is one strategic merger away from a new boss who doesn't like your face. It's one economic downturn from being restructured out of your role. The result of this lie is perpetual fear. You're terrified of leaving, but you're also terrified of staying. The passenger is always more nervous than the driver. If you don't own the business, you are the passenger. When you own the business, you control the risk, you control the decisions. You have a hand on the wheel of your destiny. Making the choice to own a proven business model reduces the risk of your money. It's a calculated and strategic move to migrate your definition of stability from a fragile corporate illusion to a resilient vehicle that you influence and control. Now, lie number 3, you can't afford the time it takes to build something new. This lie is the great excuse. This lie leans on our busy lives, tells you that you have too much going on to plan your escape. Lie number 3 says that building a business means another 60-hour work week on top of your already established 60-hour work week. This lie feeds on the fear of the hard. Now in business, we say you're either going to build it or you're going to buy it. If you have the money, you can skip the double work. But if you're like the rest of us, you're gonna have to build it. The result of this lie? Imagined exhaustion, apathetic resignation. You continue to give your best to a system that doesn't reward you for your efforts, that always takes and never says thanks. Well, I have a wake-up call for you. You aren't getting any younger, and you only get one trip around in this life. And unless you believe in reincarnation, you don't get a second chance to live your life. One moment to live today. I personally don't think we were created to watch reruns of The Office or cheer for our favorite team. I firmly believe that our greatest fulfillment comes from growing and chasing our dreams. Starting a business when you have to build it will take extra time for a short while. But when you partner with proven business models, you're buying your time back. If you want extraordinary results, it's going to take extraordinary efforts. Now, I'm a huge fan of franchising. If you know my background, that should be no surprise. If you choose to partner with the right franchise, you're tapping into proven products, services, and support. The expertise gained in your previous life is not wasted. You can immediately apply your skills and talents that have been learned along the way. Building a business isn't about finding more time. It's about controlling the time we have. And after the work comes the freedom. Now, I'd love to share 2 examples of people who chose to design their escape. Okay, first, there's Michelle. She was a VP in finance. She was successful by every corporate metric. Now, she was anxious, she was on meds, and she took her laptop to the beach. She felt like she was building someone else's business, and it quietly pissed her off. She lived in a constant state of fear. She was terrified to leave her job, to let go of the paycheck, but she was also afraid of risking her savings on a startup. It's a classic example of pick your hard. We worked together, vetted several business models. Because she was willing to look around, to get out of her rut, we found a business that fit her like a glove. She saw a playbook that minimized the guesswork. She saw that it drastically reduced the risk. She didn't need to be the hero to invent the wheel. She just needed to execute a proven business plan. Michelle's now running her own boutique fitness studio, and she's working on her next 2 locations. She found a fulfillment that would never show up in her corporate world. She's learned to intentionally design her life and take control. Now, there's Mark. Mark was a director of operations. He was a master executor, but his ideas for improvement were constantly brushed aside because others didn't want to risk their own golden handcuff. He felt professionally suffocated, constantly inefficient, and limited in potential. He wanted to be a builder, but he was stuck being a manager of managers. Mark's greatest fear was that if he started his own business, he'd lose years in startup efforts and infrastructure, instead of building and chasing his dreams. When we found a business model with the operational structure already written, Mark realized his corporate expertise wasn't going to go to waste. It was going to be a superpower. He used the franchise model as a launch pad for his ambition, with the freedom to run as fast and as hard as he could. Mark's now running his own staffing business. His decisions matter. His effort has a direct and visible impact, and he's finally able to build something for himself. Mark used his existing skills as a manager, and now he can go fishing on a Tuesday if he chooses. Mark figured it out. Corporate rut is a system built to control. You trade your time and your talents for a paycheck at a level that someone else decides. He decided the risk of suffocation was greater than the risk of something new. Both of these corporate refugees found that business was a lot less scary when you have proven business models and experienced support all around you. Now, to be fair, starting a business is not for everybody. If it's not your goal or ambition, there's no shame in that. Better to know who you are at the core and build a life that serves your desired role. But for those that want the challenge and the freedom that comes with owning a business, I hope you find that courage to honor that too. The difference between staying trapped and finding your freedom is simply making the choice to design an escape route that works for you. The corporate environment isn't evil. It's not even outright bad. It's just designed to keep people in place and in line, and not everyone is cut out for that life. You don't have to be. I truly wish you the best. I hope you live with intention. You only get one trip around, but remember, the passenger is always more nervous than the driver. I'll see you in the next video.